Glad to have you join us again. It's still AM Chat right here on MRTV, reaching you live and direct from the studios here. And it's time for us to go into the topic matter of the day. Now, we know that ASSU have been on strike for quite some time now, and it's really saddens the heart of Nigerians to see that students have been back to their houses, back home from school, and waiting on ASU to call off the strike. ASU waiting on the federal government to meet their demands so that they can actually go back to work, and then students can go back to school as well. Now, don't forget that their demand is not just any demand this time around, and someone was saying the demand is even more than the budget. It's a whole lot of money ASU is demanding, and the federal government are really working hard on that. But in the meantime, as we are still waiting, not even wanting to go into talks with the federal government, saying they have to meet the demands before they go back to work, as we wait on this and pray, hoping, looking at on how the whole thing unfolds, and hoping for the best. Most definitely, we are saying what should be the next option for the students who are actually the ones facing all of this, who are the ones, feeling the heat of it. What should they do? How can they make themselves productive at about this time when school is on strike? Because I have been there. I know it can really be frustrating when you just wake up every morning and you see you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're at home and you can't even get a job because you're still, undergraduate and you don't have your certificate yet. So you can get that kind of job that you really want. So what can they do? Because most of the time you realize these things make the students begin to have, the saying that the idle mind becomes the devil's workshop. So they begin to indulge in other things, negative things that they're not supposed to. So to talk about this topic with us, we have a young person in the studio who is also a youth. So he's going to be speaking more for the youth. Yeah. It's my pleasure to introduce Michael.
That your surname, if I must say, is
it's something that could break the teeth.
Yes. Nigeria, sorry about that.
Maybe he should just introduce himself. Ahunoji. Okay, it's good to have you join us on the show, and you are looking really good this
That's
morning.
why Nigeria needs to be one, so that we can pronounce names like this over and over again.
Samuel Ahunoji joined us today on the show. Okay, now Samuel, quickly, I want to ask Michael. Pardon me. I want to ask now, looking at the fact that youths, especially now that there's the bill of youths joining politics and being relevant in a society, doing major things, the bill of not too young to run. Do you think that by the means of constant strike in the educational sector, do you think this can mar our Nigerian youth rather than making them?
Wow. Firstly, the strike, it's a shameful thing that at this stage of our development as a country, we students have to go through that. Not just students alone, parents have to go through the pains of paying for accommodation, paying for hostel. You expect your child to come out at this time. You work your ass off wherever you're working just so they can, okay, in a matter of 4 years, these children can come out and render support to the family or ease the burden. And then a journey that's supposed to be for 4 years just because of some arguments and some selfishness and greediness of certain individuals, you make it almost 6 years. It's painful.
Really?
Not just, it's actually annoying when we think of it and we say we want a better country, and then the avenue to raise these better leaders, we are playing with it. It doesn't speak well of any government. And if we look at the ASSU issue carefully, we'll see that what they are fighting over, ASSU themselves, is an agreement that was made since 2009. So government comes in, government comes out, wearing different colors, but behaving the same way. So it's not nice at all. And I sympathize with the students because in my own time, like 10 years ago, Definitely. If you went to Uniben, which I did, or Uniport, or any, if you didn't go to private school, you would experience strike. Except maybe Uni Lorry or
What?
no, OAU.
Okay.
Any of them.
But not part of ASSU.
They are the ones that are consistent most time. But this is the bottom line. We are Nigerians. We know we are in a country where light is not stable. We know we are in a country where the roads are not good. I'm a student. I know I'm in a system that does not totally value education. The question is, will I allow a government decide my own life or my own fate? You know, it's very easy and convenient to push the blame and say they are the reasons why these things happen. But is that what you will tell your children? Will I tell my child now that I did not become successful because
of strike?
Because of strike.
Strike.
That is bull. It's a convenient, it's a lame excuse. The world is moving fast, faster than we ever expected. Before now, you have to be like 10 years, 11 years to be able to even operate a phone. A 3-year-old child can take a phone that is not their father's own, can just pick up your phone and find the game and start playing. That is how smart the world is becoming. So, you are in school, there's this, we have to break this box of I'm a student. So I have to wait till a particular time before I can become something. Before you get into the university, you should already know where you're going to. The purpose of a university is to shape you, is to help you understand certain things. But if you don't even know where you're going, you're wasting your time there. So let's bring it back home. There's ASSU strike. I told myself, okay, I'm getting into school because I want to become an actor, for example. So possibly I go into mass communication, or if my school has theater arts, I do that.
Okay.
ASSU is on strike. Normal common sense is, I'm not going to school, but they've taught me the theories, they've taught me these things. Where can I do a practical on these things that have been taught in school? Even if it's for free. That is, ASSU strike or any strike gives us that freedom or that space to think of our own personal development. I wrote an article sometime on my blog, 5 hidden benefits of ASSU strike. If you see students writing JAMB now, there's tension. They want to check results, there's tension. When is admission letter coming out? There's tension. You get into the school, late registration, there's tension. You do that one, clearance, you do classes. Throughout, from the moment you get your admission letter till whenever, there is pressure.
Okay.
There's always tension. I'm rushing to class, I'm rushing to this. At the end of the day, to what end? That end you are looking for, why not begin to develop it now?
Okay, yes, and this is really lasting for a while now, and we are expecting and hoping that the strike will end soon. Now, ways and things open for students to do. What are those things that you think they can do pending the time, the call of the strike?
Okay, cool. The world is going into a digital world.
Yeah.
So right now, every young person should have an idea, a good idea of how to use the internet to be productive. So there is
using the internet to productive. Don't forget your thoughts. Now, this is, I know that many people will be seeing this as an opportunity for them to go into cybercrime. Because the truth of the matter is that you two ways in which you can use the internet to be productive.
Because it's sounding like it.
Do you understand? So please don't get it wrong, youths as well listening. This is not for you to go into cybercrime.
So I think you need to break it down.
Productivity in its own sense is what now?
productivity. Cybercrime is, as I always believe,
it could be profitable.
A lame excuse.
Okay.
It's not. It's a vapor.
Okay.
You live the life now 2 years after, you're selling those cars. 3 years after, you that was once a big boy. So it's vapor. When I'm talking about being productive, I'm talking about being productive in who you are. So, for example, I'm an engineering student in Uniben. I would always use Uniben. In Uniben, there's strike. I can actually begin an online blog about engineering stuff. Right now, everyone is talking about blogging, but only few people are specific about certain things. Sometimes we find out that our cars have problem. They are looking for how to fix it. The mechanics you have, they don't understand jack, except you show them. The ones that understand jack, they are sometimes too expensive. For consultation, you have to pay so much. So what happens for, I can't be given free consultation. For example, what happens if you open a blog on engineering, talking about cars, how to take care of your car? Focus, just spend your time. Everything you have learned, those mechanical, how to change,
All the ideas.
begin to talk about it. Addition, that is a dimension, and it can flow in every angle. Whether it's business, whether you are studying accounting, whatever you are doing, it can flow in that angle. That is the online perspective of building information, giving the information you already have, and giving it out to people. So you are developing yourself. So it's not just about I know it, but the moment you know something and you are able to give it out, it now makes you a dawn in that field. Now, there's another aspect to this. Trainings. Trainings. Right now, almost every new generational church, if I'm to use that word, embark on different forms of trainings. Bead making, graphics designing, video editing, and stuff like that. You don't do that in school. No lecturer, there is no lecturer that will give you that time.
That's time.
So now you have this time to gain these skills. And the beautiful thing with a skill is that it never dies. King Sunny Ade would sing till he dies. He cannot retire. So this platform gives us, I like using us because I believe
that's good.
there are still people like me that are in school.
Yeah.
I was just fortunate and people a lot to finish on time. But I believe this gives us a chance to begin to learn things. I'm not just learning I'm a makeup artist, you do one thing, you go to Instagram and blah, blah, blah. No. I'm talking of professional learning.
Okay. Like certification, because the truth is, as regards that, you have many people now, many youths going into making up things and, getting tying and stuff like that. Now, would you actually say that is a skill, that is a profitable skill to learn or to have, or having certification, going for professional, whatsoever it is, training a lot more, which is much more, in a way, dignifying compared to skills that any other person can get? Because basically, I don't need to go for training, I can tie guinea for you. Do you understand? So, are you saying that doing all that doesn't really want it, but it's like certification, training that would give you a certificate that would, aside from certificates now, training that would, because
They'll be more professional.
more professional.
But they keep certificates when it comes to makeup. You know I'm a makeup artist, so you have to take a look at that. Okay.
No,
Okay, but let's look into that.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm on
Because
national team.
everybody is in that line.
Can I?
line,
If
yes.
I take
So
off this
why can't
jacket,
we? Okay.
If I take off this jacket, it doesn't change me. This jacket is just the packaging to make the camera make me look good, so friends can say this guy is looking good. But it doesn't change my content. I'm who I am. Now this certification, this paper that you want to get, how much are you going to spend to apply for this? An average professional exam now or course now takes good money. Add that to the school fees your parents afford for you to pay for. So you are not earning. The point that I totally support professional exams and stuff like that is when you are earning for yourself.
Okay.
And you know that you're not taking off another person's stuff. So you are kind of earning and reinvesting in yourself. Now we're talking about how you can can even become useful to yourself first before you think of developing yourself.
So,
She said she's in makeup. I know she makes good money from there. Because judging from her own face, you know she does a good job. Now you can tie gele. We can do so many things ourselves. But can I really pay you to tie gele for my wife to be when the time comes on our wedding day?
So that makes a difference, right?
That makes a difference. Everyone has talent. But now I'm talking about skill. The conversion point is when you can be paid for it. 5 years or 7 years ago, I knew how to play with Corel Draw to design. But up until 2 years ago or so, I didn't make money from it. Now I make money from it. And as I keep improving on it, my money keeps going higher.
okay, Michael, let's move away from that. I'm still going to come back to that skill acquisition thing. But now let's look at the economy as it is. Nigerian youths, we have a lot in common. The strike, the hustle, the bustle, everybody is in a hurry. And especially in this age and time, we know the youths are always in a hurry to get this, in a hurry to get that, in a hurry to make it in life, to get money, to get cars, which is why there's been so much arrests and which involves youths, which really saddens my heart. They're the ones that want to get involved in kidnapping, in the rituals, and all of that, all in the aim of being a big boy and a big girl. Now let's look at the speed limits now. At what points will I know as a youth that I'm becoming too ambitious and I need to slow down?
Okay, I enjoy coming from the perception of the youth first before getting our goals. Wherever a Nigerian youth today is, was formed by the society. Youths didn't just decide to be greedy. The society encouraged greed. Youths didn't just decide to get into Yahoo. The society encouraged it. Because if a man of 50-something that we don't know what he's doing can come to a congregation or go to a place and buy cars and spend cars and we don't know what he's doing, why would I not be encouraged to do such? The society places an academician, for example, you come out with a first class, what does the society give you? How do we appreciate such people? But the ones that do the cars, the people they use for brand building, the artists, the people the ambassadors, how many of them are academicians? What do they use? So it starts from the focus of the society. We create a monster and we come back to complain that they are monsters. But back to my own point, it's still our own choice. You can make it, but there are processes. And the good news is there are people we can look up to that have gone through these processes. And every now and then, most of these people are creating platforms for us to use too.
Okay, let's
All right,
come back to
people.
the home front. Yes, you can be part of the show. The number is on the screen.
Yeah.
So call us if you have a comment. We're looking at ASSU strike, how it has affected Nigerian youths, and what should be the alternative things for them to do, especially at this time. Okay, so call us up. The number is on your screen, and remember to turn down the volume on your TV. So, looking at Nigerian youth as it were, let's come back to the home front. Now, you talked about the society being of major effect and making you who you turn out to be at the end of the day. Now, we know also that morals, which has been imbibed in you from your parents, could also take you a long way. Because now you're going on that journey, you're going to school where your parents are not there with you, you're there with groups, your friends, and all of that. So these are the things that is going to keep you, when you keep remembering who you are, what they've told you from home, and the trainings that you've had. Now let's talk about how parents can actually impact on the youth, so that when all these hits come from the society, you can still stand firm.
Okay. I like the fact that that point was raised because I had a thought on that too. Another silent benefit of ASSU strike is it gives parents the opportunity to actually see their children. When I mean see, I mean to see and observe. There are certain things phone calls cannot do. When I tell you something, you understand me. But when you experience it, you understand me better. So when you get into school, don't follow bad guy. Yes, mommy. Don't do this. Yes, mommy. But when I get into school, it is a different ballgame.
Okay.
There's loneliness, there's hunger, there is pain. And these things are real. No matter how they explain it to you, you can never understand it until you experience it. So, speaking the words alone, don't just do it. Opportunities like this come, you notice your child. What time is this child actually waking up? What kind of movies is this child watching now? Because you cannot, there are certain things you cannot fake. If you stay in school for 3 months, you've created a habit. If you come back home, a wise parent will see the changes.
So you're saying the society has more effects than the parents can ever.
And parents, yes, but parents can still do justice to that thanks to ASSU strike.
Okay, so they come back and remold the child
Yes,
again.
and remind. Keep
Okay.
these words coming.
Let's say, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning. What's your name?
This is from Mushi.
Okay, go ahead. Let's have a comment.
I'm a student of Laute.
Okay.
So last year we've been on strike. Hello?
Yeah, we
We
can
can
hear
hear you. Just go ahead.
I said I'm a student of Laute.
Okay.
Last year we've been on strike for 8 months or 9 months. This year again we've not been
yeah.
stable for some months. I think if their children are in Nigeria too, they will pay because there are some decisions that are sick. This because of strike this year. 5 students died. And more people dying. Please let them find something to do about it. It's really bitter to take.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you so
All
much
right.
for calling. That's
All right.
Loud Tech.
Yes, in
That's
Ogbomoso.
9 months. That's
9 months,
close
that's
to a
huge.
year. That's
Yeah,
really
you know,
sad.
they're actually trying to solve this issue. It's between Osun State and Oyo
Oyo
State,
State.
and I just hope this will end. But pending the time it's still on, there is less to which we can do. But
we
I think
just
students
hope
of that
the
school,
concerned authorities are
because
watching.
even some
but that
some
is-
older level students are thinking of going into another school instead of waiting this long.
wasting all that
Yeah.
time. But that
9
is
months
the,
is
the
huge.
main essence of the program this morning. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. What should you do while the strike is on?
Hello, good morning.
Turn down the volume on your TV. Okay. That's what
Yeah, there
happens
is
when
a
you don't
instruction.
turn
When you
down
don't-
the
when you-
volume
yes,
on
yes.
your TV so that we
Just
can
tell
hear
me
you.
that.
Okay, so Michael, let's go back into the society now. Let's look at educational sector. We have a lot of sectors in this country. We have the agricultural sector, we have the health sector, and now we have the educational sector. These are major sectors in the country. And amazingly, these two major sectors are on strike now. ASSU first on a strike. You
Resident
understand?
doctors.
You know, resident doctors are on strike. But back to the topic, we're looking at ASSU being on strike now. Looking at the educational sector, would you say that it's better than before, where we're coming from? Back in the days, the education that we had then. We know a lot of things have been involved. We have technology, we have speed and all that. But then, looking at the system, would you say there's things back then that worked that we should adopt, the government should adopt into the system now?
For me, it's basically the same thing. The only thing that has actually changed is that government has allowed more private institutions to spring up.
I think that's a good idea.
For the country, not really. For the country, not really, because these institutions spring up without firm regulations, such that they can put whatever charges they want, and then parents are compelled to push their children there. So the government, like the caller that called in, is not really affected. The Minister of Education or those in the helms of power, they're not really affected. Why? Most of their children are not here. The ones that are here cannot afford to get into the school that you are making private. The school that they can afford to get into, they are going on strike for them. I think about ASSU, I think about the federal government, and sometimes I just have to calm myself. The ASSU strike now, let's think about it. All they are asking for, all their demands, which of them permit me? How many of them help these students? Oh yeah. It's more selfish. The government is selfish. ASSU themselves, they are selfish. At the end of the day, the people.
So
Okay,
it's
we
just like
have
it's super
another
just to do
caller.
the
Just,
whole plan. Hello, good morning.
good morning.
Hello.
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Samuel calling from Cross River.
Okay.
Please go
All right.
ahead, Samuel.
Hello?
Samuel,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. We can hear you. Oh,
Hello.
so sorry.
To call back, the number is right on your screen.
A lot of
Alternatives
noise.
for students as ASSU strike continues. One of the things they can engage themselves in to actually make them more productive. And if not that, probably they'll be looking for something very profitable. But
Yes.
it's not also about money, because for you to look out for what to do, you know, some students will be thinking of the money they can make before they go back to school. But should that be the focus?
No.
Okay, what do you think should be the,
The
basic
focus is personal development. That is the focus.
Do they really believe in this self-development? Do they really believe in it?
And that is what our parents need to teach. That's what the society need to encourage. That's what our churches need to preach. Personal development. Right now, an average student is under the canopy of the parents. So you're not paying house rent, you're not feeding yourself. So if there's a best time for you to gain anything at a free stage, it's at times like this.
I like that. So it shouldn't just be the money you can get at that
No,
time.
no. Get everything you need to get. Every training, every knowledge, every ability, every skill. Get it at this point. Personally, when striking Unilever, we had, because friends of the same feather flock together. I had friends who had the vision beyond school. Many people are waiting till they reach final year before they begin to think of what they are doing with their lives. Unfortunately, some are waiting till after NYSC.
Let me ask you this very personal question. Was it personal development that got you this jacket, or it was money?
Personal development.
Got you this jacket?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have another caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello? Okay, we lost that.
So sorry
Got to
about
call
that.
back.
Now, I know that a lot of Nigerian youths out there are watching and they really want to be part of this. And someone out there is asking, you said I should make myself productive during the strike. What exactly am I supposed to do? Now, let's look at, we've talked about skill acquisition. We've talked about you going on the social media and using it positively by showcasing those ideas that you have. Now let's come back still, because I am really passionate about the home front. At what age should a child acquire these skills? Because I think, shouldn't it be something that should be mandatory for every household? When a child gets to a certain age, you're like, okay, go and acquire such skill before even going to school, or maybe while in school. Should it be when ASSU is on strike? So,
But they should think of that.
Like I always believe, we need to shake on things. Shake on things. In other climes, you hear of summer schools, summer jobs. You move out of the country, you hear, I'm a student, I'm working. That is a trend. From the age of 12, Jesus found his calling. So from the age of as little, let me just put it at 10. A parent should begin to engage their child in their destiny path. So we have schools, secondary schools. Let's start from there, doing summer lessons. So from August till September, you have students coming to your school to do what? Do math and English. The same thing you will teach them when you come back in September.
Why not
That is
redefine
time
and do
wasting.
something else?
Complete, and it's painful because only a few are breaking out of this box. Only a few are thinking beyond. You can get entrepreneurs, you can get people to begin to coach these children about these things at that tender age. Who says that a 10-year-old girl cannot begin to learn hair making in school as a student? That's how we break the limits. So when that notion is in the head already, going into school, you're going into the university ready.
Yeah.
Your classmate becomes your target market. Your hostel mate becomes your target market. Your lecturers become your launching pad. So before you from 100 level to 400, what we talk about Linda engaging? When did she start?
Okay, now I know a lot of students are already in this trend. That's why you see them, there's some students that can't go broke. But there's some students that always go broke in school, no matter how much the parents send to them, which is why we're talking about this skill acquisition and doing something for yourself. But then, some people still think that it can be a distraction. Imagine, I have seen students while I was in school selling some things, doing business, but it was a distraction for them because, you miss class because you want to meet up with a client.
So how can they manage
and
it?
you know it's a lot of money, and the client is telling you there's a so time I can be around, and you want to quickly go and deliver the goods. So we'll come back to that. Let's take this call.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost that call.
Okay, so how can they tend to manage
balance
this?
the two.
Balance the two.
100 level, 200 level, 300 level. For me, school became a distraction. At 300 level, school became a distraction for me.
How?
How? Because I knew where I was going with my life. I had calculated and I had understood that I am not coming out with first class. No, you have to be honest with yourself. I was honest with myself. Michael, I'm not coming out with first class. I had Fashola finished. For me, maybe I'm coming out with first class. Okay, so let us focus on the things you are good at. You should stop killing yourself over your weaknesses and begin to concentrate on your strength. That is one of the keys to living a successful life. I know my strengths. So I began to work on that. So such that I could know when there was strike, it got to a point that I was excited because I had time to do things that mattered to my future.
Okay.
Don't join the bandwagon. If, for example, you are an academician, as in scholar, who like your head done, bookworm, in English you call it, your head done. School is your thing. Perfect. ASSU is on strike. Your head needs to hot. There's jam lessons to do. There's GCE lessons to do. There are things to do to still keep your brain moving.
Yes.
You can still
Even
read up on
tutoring
it.
people, tutoring people who actually want to
You
get
can
into
still
school.
develop yourself. So you have to find out, where am I going to? I'm not telling you, are in school. You are in school. A university isn't just all about academics. That's where we learn how to relate with people from different tribes. Before I got into university, I don't think I've ever had an encounter with a Hausa person or someone from another clime. But I got there, I met different people in the same hostel, in the same class. So it's not just about academics.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
It's more about your own development as a person.
So you don't see it as a distraction.
No.
Okay. Let's
all
take
right
this
then.
call.
Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay, all right,
You
just
lost
try to
that
call.
call.
I think there's not much you can take.
Okay, we're still talking about the ASSU strike and how students can actually be productive on their own, using their time wisely rather than blaming the government at the end of the day for making you who you are. Now, I would like you to advise a lot of Nigerian youth out there who are watching
Before you
and
go.
what they should do at this time.
Okay. Like I said earlier, sorry about this.
Of course.
So I won't come here and start forming Don Jazzy and acting like it doesn't hurt. But life hurts. It hurts us at times, and you have to respond. The way you respond is what makes the difference. Nobody wants to know your pity story. Nobody wants to. Nobody actually cares. You say it and then, no, and that's where it ends. And then they use you as a bad example of something, blah blah blah. This is it. Own your life. It's your life. You have admission into school, you've learned a few things, or you are yet to even get into school. There is something in you that makes you you. What the school is doing is sharpening it up. brushing it up, shining it up. But at the end of the day, the responsibility still falls
on you.
Internship. Find a place you can do internship. Volunteer around your area. You don't need to take transport, too much transport, maybe 100 naira or 200 naira transport there. Go. By going there, if the place is excellent, you will learn excellence. If the place is not excellent, you will learn how not to be a failure.
I like that. Voluntarily.
Voluntarily. There's always something to learn.
Yeah.
Then that gives you an edge. You complain that in vacancies they write 7 years experience when you left school just last year. The truth is 7 years experience. I volunteered here, I did this project, I did this project.
And all those years will count for you.
Those things will count for you.
Yeah.
I got a job with me Davis not because of certificate, but the things I had done as an undergraduate.
True.
Okay. All
You know,
right,
I once heard a speaker saying that just exactly what you say. Why not add up all those things that you've done? You know, I was
Over
a
the
supervisor at so store.
Yes.
It could have been your mother's store, but at least you were there.
See, you were there,
Create your
and you managed to
Create your
environment.
CV.
In my CV, I put my key strengths. What is my key motto? Somebody saw my CV, said they've not seen anything like this. I say it's my own. Is it not what CV? Is it not to sell yourself? So you
course.
sell what you have. If your education is not the key thing, don't put it first. Put the one that is first. You did a program and you had 10,000 people in attendance. You
Okay.
did this. You had 2 people. You managed.
Just compile everything. Put it together.
That's what
Make
they're
sure your
looking out for.
CV is thick. Okay, who could have? I really enjoyed myself
Yes, thanks
talking
for
to Michael. I
coming.
mean, who could have been better to talk about this topic if not Michael? Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming on AM Chat this beautiful morning. That what we are talking about next will interest you. It's another situation happening in Nigeria and something to really talk about. But when we come back from the break, we will look at it. Stay with us. AM Chat continues in a bit. Glad to have you join us back on the show. It's still AM Charts this beautiful morning. And now we are looking at something really interesting. Now, before we even go into it, let me say happy birthday to Michael, our guest that just left. It's his birthday. He didn't tell us we'd have sang for him. Okay, so we are looking at doctors being on strike. Like I said earlier on, we have these 2 major sectors in Nigeria being on strike, which is the educational sector, ASSU, and also the resident doctors being on strike. So right now we're looking at the doctors being on strike. What is the way out? Government, federal government have said they're so disappointed at their level of thinking, the way they carried the matter, the way
Despite
they expressed
going on.
despite that they talked to them not to go into the strike. And I think much more reason that could be attributed to the government being disappointed is that looking at the fact that this other sector is on strike, which is another major sector in the country. Now you, another major sector going on strike. Are you even thinking?
You know, it's more or less like pressure on the Minister of Labour and Employment, that's Chris Ngige, because definitely you're still trying to solve one and the second
another
one
is
starting,
falling on
and
it.
you are just the head of that ministry.
You know.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is that the demand, the resident doctor demand shortfall of salaries to be paid, They want enrollment in the integrated payroll, the personal information system. They also demanded to be added in the government pension scheme, which is also one of ASSU's demands too. And also secularization of house officers' pay. Then all of it all together, let me tell you the truth, they had a meeting yesterday which started about 2 p.m. yesterday. And as at 11 p.m. yesterday, they were still on it. So it was really a very long meeting, marathon meeting to say. Now, and yet, it got to a point, as one of the source at that meeting said, that, Lazarus, now, do this thing now. And they almost agreed to a certain point to call off the strike. But later, at about, I think, 11:35 or there, about p.m. yesterday, they said no. And this is Dr. Chris Nge coming out to say that it's unethical, that there is a particular section of trade scheme that said this, that said that they shouldn't have gone on strike. And also, let me also quote here again that Professor Isaac Adewale, that's the, if I should get it right, the Minister of Health now, said that the CMDs, as the Chief Medical Doctors, should use NYSC doctors. Pending,
yeah, I read that story.
NYSC doctors and also local doctors to also, to attend to people. But how safe is that? Now, the truth is, we're talking about the lives of people, and this, this is all about signing MOU.
In a lot of hospitals, we've seen patients being returned to their homes, and we've seen cases of emergencies, and now the people, the masses, are the ones pleading with the federal government, because already a lot of patients have been sent back home who went to the hospital hoping to get treatment, and it's really a sad situation. So the people are appealing to the federal government to do something about it. So imagine going to a hospital for an emergency, for instance, and then the next thing they tell you is we're on strike, doctors are not on ground to attend to you, and they just carry you back to your car to leave the premises. It can be really sad situation, and lives what we're talking about here. So it's a really serious issue, and we are looking at what can actually be done at this time. What can federal government do? What can the doctors do? Are they the ones to go back to work? But then I know doctors are also adamant, as stubborn as ASSU also is. They don't want to go back to work until federal government yield to their demand. But the question in my heart is, how will the federal government handle the situation? Would it be the medical doctors first on the list to attend to, or ASSU who were on strike even before the resident doctors went on strike? But if you weigh it very well, we would know, you and I know that both are important. Both are important. But
I must say,
doctors because, are much more. That sector
because it's about life. Yes, it's very sensitive. But also, the one for students and for universities is futuristic.
Very
because it has a long-term effect, a long-term impact.
Even on the society. Yes. And it might come back to it's more like a nemesis now.
Yes, those who will be future leaders, if I must say. But anyway, you have a number on your screen, so get to call. And what is it, should the federal government do this time, or how can we just get over this situation? I know for Chris Nge at this time, it's just like closing your eyes, opening it, and seeing that the whole challenge is over. You're like, how did it happen? Oh, thank God it's over. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, what's your name?
My name is Marty.
Okay, where is Marty calling from?
From Naga.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to contribute my own to what is happening now.
Okay.
I'm not saying that medical strike is bad, maybe when they want to fight for their rights. But let's look at our president when he became the president of Nigeria and the vice president. They decided their salary into two. Telling us that they come to have, not that they have interest in the money. The money is not everything. If they are fighting for money, so that doctor, they are thinking to save life. They should consider that. So money is not everything in life. That's just what I want to say.
Okay.
Thank you so very much for calling. I think that's a
Alright.
very reasonable contribution.
Yes.
The doctors should consider the lives,
of
while
people.
they're still in talks with federal government.
Mm.
Because what I see in all this, if the federal government go ahead to yield to the demands of the
Mm.
doctors, then ASSU is going to be on for a longer time, because
Is
it,
what
it, it will be more of triggering the anger. Like, we went on strike first, now you're tending to the doctors, so you have the money. In fact, we're increasing our own demands.
Maybe they need to call
You
the
know.
meeting for two, for both of them.
You understand.
I'd
So
like, okay, let the resident doctors and lecturers.
it's
and
a
let's
very
have it.
critical situation
Yes.
right now. Nigeria
Hello,
is.
good morning. Hello? Hello? Okay, we lost that.
And
anyway.
I was going to say that, am I not just, can you actually, would you ask me why I'm not, I'm so happy that I'm not on Chris Ngige's chair right now, that I'm not in his shoes, because I can imagine the pressure, the tension that
yeah.
he's going through at this time, having these two major sector going on strike. It's on record that ASSU first went on strike, and while appealing to ASSU to come back,
come back.
ASSU declined. They actually rejected that meeting called by the federal government to go in talks with them. They said they want their demands met. They don't want to sit down round table to talk about anything except the money is ready. Now, having the doctors just recently join in strike again is something to talk about. We are sincerely hoping that we'll come to a resolvement of all of this situation, and then the strike will be over for good, especially for the medical doctors who are the ones saving lives. We want to say many thank you to all the people that called in to be part of the show, and especially thank you to our producer, the camera crew, and to TDs and the graphics, to everybody who contributed to be part of the show this morning.
All right, well, that's how much we can take. Join us again tomorrow. AM Chat continues. My name is
Most
Mudupe
definitely, and I am
Shiremeko.
Gloria Roberts.
Have a great Thursday, and then